Illumination's Lorax is a 3D animated take on the original book by Dr. Seuss. The book is about a man going too far and being corrupted by greed. He then hopes for the future generation to solve this issue he's created. Many think the movie is about the same thing, the same plot with extra details, but today I will reveal all the objective facts to finally put this misconception to rest. These two pieces of art are not comparable. While using the same characters and some plot points, the messages are completely different. The message behind Lorax is capitalism bad, but the movie does something called a base to move. The film sponsored an SUV and quote-unquote Seussified it. They even have the gall to say it's truffula tree friendly. Now this would seem to be a double standard, but it's not.
And there's your allegory for the movie right there. Just take a picture with the Lorax on your product and boom, it's suddenly Lorax approved. Ironic this song is against everything corporate when that's exactly what the Lorax marketing was doing. Enjoy your air polluting car. The Lorax says it's okay.
This is not the movie's message. It is not about the environment. It gets its message through the magic of color. Just like the television show Breaking Bad 4 years prior, the Lorax uses symbolism and change of color to make its message. As an example, let's look at Walter's clothes as the series progresses. His clothes get noticeably darker. This symbolizes Walter's base level.
Okay, Pipsqueak, give me a hand. Come on, reach out for Lorax. Where'd you go?
Moving into the actual movie and the color wheel, the color green is very simple. It represents green, money, something the Onceler wants, which is why he is seen wearing green in his song. The color blue represents the air, the sky, purity, and the air sold by Mr. O'Hare is branded blue. The color pink represents opportunity. As you can see, the seed is usually this pink color because this is the Onceler's opportunity to turn big. Pink is also worn by the grandma, showing her opportunity to see the truffula trees again. Purple represents wrath, seen on Ted's mom and the Onceler's horrible in-laws. The color red represents innocence. It's worn by Ted in his bike because his bike can't have free will. The color yellow represents action. The character Audrey decides to take action by asking Ted to take action. Him being the red innocent color, he does it. Orange represents good guy. Just like the Lorax, the color white represents misguidance. It's worn by the character of the air salesman because he is being misled. All the characters are, because the Onceler has not changed. If you remember at the end of the movie, he looks like this. Now look at this comparison. By the end, he is still wearing green, meaning he is still greedy because he wants what Mr. O'Hare has. He isn't saving anyone. He's putting Seedville under new management. He's even wearing the seed because he has an opportunity. And unfortunately, he won. There's a major plot hole in the movie that actually makes more sense than you'd think. The Onceler never plants more trees to chop down, because the Onceler is a complete idiot. Mr. O'Hare, on the other hand, I believe has the trees. But he has a new approach, selling air, because of course the air has to come from somewhere. So being the great businessman he is, he planted more trees. It's obvious the Onceler is just waiting for people to get the quote last seed, and I think O'Hare as a teen beat Ted to the punch. But he saw through the Onceler's greed and decided he would grow them in secret, selling the air he received from them to keep everyone alive. Remember, Mr. O'Hare wears a blue tie, and blue represents purity. This movie is truly about how the Onceler never changed. He was and is always greedy. The movie's real themes are about humanity's competition. Mr. O'Hare was able to conquer over the Onceler, out-capitalizing him. This is easily explained in the college humor video, The Conservative Lorax.
Now I am the Lorax, and I speak for free markets.
These themes are also present in a very specific work featuring the voice actor of the Lorax.
This is America. You're either a duper or a dupee. I'm a duper. You guys are the dupees. I gotta go.
Where are you going now?
In this scene, the character of Frank says political views don't matter, and they never did. Life is about conquering each other and taking action before others do. This is exactly the message Lorax 2012 wants to send. It isn't even about taking care of the Earth. It doesn't take place on Earth. It takes place on Theedville. And just like the book, these things are not comparable. Nobody needs air on Theedville. How do you think everyone lived between the time of the last tree falling and Mr. O'Hare's rise to power? He only sells air as a simple product. Nobody needs it, and O'Hare knows this. He is truly the good guy of the film. He wants no one to plant more trees because he already has them. And when the Onceler finds out about them, he'll do the same thing and cut them all down. The Onceler is a terrifying villain who will inspire children into doing his dirty work for him. Near the end of the movie, during Let It Grow, the colors once again tell the story. His own employees and neighbors start going on Ted's side. Look at Mr. O'Hare's horrified expression. He knows that he's already failed. Then, for sympathy points, they bring out this child whose skin is entirely green. Now, other than this child having stage 9 cancer, let's note that he is the color green, which represents greed. The parents are using this child for their lust to have more trees. Please explain to me how him having green skin is the fault of Mr. O'Hare. It isn't. The parents caused this. Mr. O'Hare is very confused throughout the entire song, but he makes one of the smartest moves, an honest attempt. He starts singing. He doesn't understand why they are, but he thinks it will persuade them. But apparently it just wasn't good enough. And they get rid of him before he can explain the Onceler's true intention. Theedville is a horrible, scary place, where basically murder is just brushed off. Before the town attempts to kill Mr. O'Hare, the Lorax does the same thing to the Onceler. Although, this is the correct thing to do, because the Onceler is the Antichrist. There's clues in the movie, and it all points to this. But being the only true morally good character, the Lorax can't bring himself to do it. In a world where murder and poisoning children is fine, this points to Lorax being the holy one. The movie The Lorax was never about pollution. It's about the horrifying fight of good versus evil, and how those lines are blurred. It's not entirely clear who's good, and it's not entirely clear who's evil. The Lorax 2012 is an amazing masterclass of cinema and symbolism that should be experienced by everyone. Except the Onceler fanboys. Fuck you, Tumblr.
A principle of nature that most every creature knows. It's called survival of the fittest, and this is how it goes. The animal that wins has got to claw it by the kick and punch. The animal that doesn't winds up someone else's lunch.
Hey, I'm the Lorax.